bro, you need to run. I'm speechless, man. This show has terrified me harder than any anime. Now, there has been a select handful of shows that I've considered either creepy or have had terrifying moments. I think Higurashi is a pretty spooky series with some pretty intense moments. Recently, Maruko-chan, I think was the show. It was a couple years back. That was a pretty spooky one. And stuff like Shiki has moments of pure horror. But for me personally, because it plays into the exact fears that I always hope to see, because I like being spooked in media. If you name a slasher villain, a horror film series, I probably have watched it and I probably have enjoyed it to some degree. But I like the fact that this show, it's so comfy and it baits you in. I was literally at one point saying, you know what, I was wrong. Yeah, she's a little weird, but it's kind of cute having the little sister dynamic. And 2 seconds later, I was like, bro, listen to your grandma and run as far as you can. This girl is messed up. That trauma has ruined her. Because rather than just going for jump scares, we have dealt with a haunted phone booth and a underground cellar full of porcelain dolls. And it is terrifying what they've been able to accomplish. And a part of it is because it plays into fears that really bug me. I can see characters get stabbed in the eye. I can see throats get slit. And that's not going to be like, ooh, I need to look away. But veins or nerves popping up from their hands and them having to cut that off, or then her wrapping that around the doll's neck, that really messes with me personally. And I love the fact that it's not jump scares. It's legit this atmosphere and this tension. I want nothing to do with it. As an anime, as a product to consume, I love it because you're spooking me. But if I was a part of this, I would be like Shaggy and ScoobyDoo and running as far as I can, as fast as I can, because that's some bullshit I want nothing to do with. Full live reaction to episode 2 of Dark Gathering is available on my Patreon. If you would like to see my full uncut thoughts, I recommend it. I think Dark Gathering is probably going to be my best series to cover in live reactions, as I have fun, the discussions are great, but most importantly, left me speechless, which doesn't happen a whole lot. So consider supporting if you would like to see that, but we gotta talk about this one. 25 episodes of Dark Gathering greatness. I was sure after episode 1 that I wanted more. Episode 2 sold me even more. The dynamic between these 3 characters, we have a childhood friend, Eiko, who, I don't know, man. She's gotta be the weirdest of them all. She seems way too normal. That smile last week said a lot. I had someone in my comments point out the fact that she always wears gloves, and I was like, okay, maybe that is something. But over the course of it, I was like, well, our boy's wearing a glove, so I guess maybe that's just, it's their fashion statement. But after seeing the fact that he hides his nerve-damaged hand, I have to wonder, what is she hiding? She's got to have a secret there, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to see it. But the thing about this is it almost in a way is like Stockholm Syndrome. In a weird way, it feels like we're like starting to connect with our kidnappers, because a lot of it feels like an oddball family. You have the little sister who, yeah, she's a little gothic horror-esque, but she's cute, she's fun, and she doesn't seem creepy 9 out of 10 times, minus the skull eyes in her eyeballs, of course. But then she does these things like, hey, I want to show you my room. Now, of course, we know that room is messed up, but seeing his first reaction, you just immediately got it. The music, how it builds into that, and him just falling and trying to run away, being like, girl, we gotta run. I didn't even feel this present till she opened it. And she's like, don't worry about it. Nothing bad has happened. And then she's flicking his nerves to strangle the doll, and she is so calmly saying, it's the worst of the worst. It's just a plushie room. It's freaky, man. This show legit scared me. And I'm not overreacting for myself. I'm not trying to make it seem more scary than it was. No, this is how it felt for me. Horror is subjective, very much like comedy. What makes me laugh may not make you laugh. What makes me scared may not make you scared. But I promise you, 100%, I have felt more tension and fear in maybe 8 minutes, give or take. If we combine episode 1 and 2, and the moments that were supposed to be scary and were scary for me, out of the 45 minutes, 50-minute runtime, maybe 8 of those minutes were meant to be horror. I felt more tension and atmosphere and pure fear in that than I have in a majority of the anime that I've watched over the course. There's disturbing moments in shows where characters have gruesome deaths, and that's a little freaky, but there's something about the atmosphere. It really shakes me, and I think it's because rather than trying to jump to the next jump scare or try to just show you, we fought a phone booth and a doll, and neither one of those were overly scary at face value. Yeah, there's a bloody handprint on the phone booth, or the doll's hair is going down our throat, and I'm like, bro, that is disturbing as shit. But when we fight them, we cut the phones right off of the cord. Or she basically puts the sword on the neck and then she jumps on it in order for the doll's head to go flying, right? There is a little bit of action, but the thing that's horrifying is they use the anime medium to its absolute fullest potential. Great OST, superb voice actors, like our boy felt like he was being smothered and he was choking to death. The OST absolutely nailed it, but the lighting and the glowing eyes, it helps because I find dolls creepy in general. So if you were to put me in a cellar with a bunch of glowing red eyes and I'm being suffocated by this doll's hair jamming down my throat, that's literally one of the worst ways you could end me. So for me, it hits all of my horror notes. And even if this doesn't spook you as much as it does for me, I highly suspect most people will at the very least agree that it uses the horror elements to its fullest potential to be at the very least creepy. Because a majority of it gets you second guessing. I end last week saying, bro, they're all crazy. I enter this episode, I'm like, okay, his grandma's saying to run, but you know what? She seems kind of harmless right now. She's a little weird, but I get it. She's trying to find the spirit of her mom. She's hunting spirits because she doesn't know which spirit took her. It makes sense. She just needs a little guidance. The friend, I don't know, man. She's probably weird as shit, but let's just roll with it. By the end of this episode, Grandma, basically, he says, like, hey, you know what? She's a little weird, but she's nice. She's a great girl. I would have died without her, right? And the fact that a minute or two later, and I don't get it. They had me, I knew what I saw last week. I knew this girl wasn't right. I understand why she's doing it, but she's broken. And the fact that a minute later, you open that door and it reminds me, why did I ever consider this a wholesome duo when this is here? And I feel like this is going to be the formula. They're going to bait us in every week. Man, I really like their dynamic. And something weird, something freaky is going to happen. And I'm going to be like, I am a kidnapped victim empathizing with my captors. And I'm like, bruh, I'm loving this one. I said it last week that Sunday is hands down the best day of the anime week for this season. I also think Sunday was the best day of last season as well, just between Gundam, Demon Slayer, and stuff. But Mushoku Tensei, Zom 100, Dark Gathering, 3 very different style shows that are nailing it 110%. No questions asked. All 3 of those 10 out of 10 for me personally. I am loving what I'm seeing. I imagine I'm going to get people saying I'm overhyping this, or they disagree, it's not that scary. It's opinions, bro. Gotta deal with this. This is just my opinions of how I feel. But I really, really love this one, and hopefully, you know, the fan base for this one is good, because the fact that we get 25 episodes, I would love to be able to talk about this one all the way throughout next anime season. But we'll see how it does, but at the very least, we're sticking this one for this season anyway. Let me know what you're thinking, though, down below. What did you think? Do you agree with me on the horror, or do you have a different opinion? Let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more videos to the channel, and like I mentioned, full live reaction, and I highly recommend it, is available on my Patreon if you're interested, and hey, while you're there, you'll also get a video shout out. So today we have Durberg Jude, Sayuria, Derek Nickel, and Sarnik, so I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.